Hey everyone, so I'm back here today because I have a small update to the action that creates a beautiful layer stack for skin toning called SkinTM Pro. TM means toning and mastering, right? So SkinTM Pro is a beautiful layer stack that, like so many other layer stacks that I have in my actions, can seem intimidating. However, if I walk you through it, I guarantee you're going to really see the benefit of it and you're going to like, whoa, how did I live without this? Especially if you shoot portraits, especially if you shoot any type of like fashion, editorial, swimwear, boudoir, art nude. Toning of skin is hugely important. And when I say toning, I don't mean cleanup. Like cleanup of skin is one thing. You're getting rid of like blemishes or scars or anything else that you want to get rid of, or moles. That's on you, and everybody has a different approach to that. I recommend running this after you've done your skin cleanup, ideally, right? Because then you can tone skin in so many different ways, which we're going to go over. So while it runs, I'm going to go ahead. You can see what's happening right here. Photoshop new functions, or relatively new. The previous version of the action, which had a different name, would use Photoshop subject selection, which was the AI that we had at the time a couple of years ago. And then it would use Photoshop's color range function to find skin tones. And we would send it chroma data for that function to make it a little more accurate. And it worked pretty well. But whenever you're going to search for something based on simply a color range or a hue range or even a saturation and luminosity range, you're going to have bleed over. So it was good, but not perfect. Now Photoshop has people selections, which is part of its object selection functions. And you can program those things into an action. So Photoshop's AI can now basically find skin. It can find the body parts. As you can see, we run this, or rather we look at it, hold down Alt or Option and click the mask that's created. Photoshop has done a phenomenal job, completely ignored any type of discrepancies in skin tone. It just says, oh, this is the face, this is the chest and the hand and the legs. Beautiful. In my testing, that has worked with this action to the tune of 97% accurate, not too many complete train wrecks. And even if you have a train wreck, you can adjust the mask yourself, right? So now that we know that the action incorporates Photoshop's new skin body part selecting AI function, which really makes a huge difference, let's walk you through the layer stack so you don't feel so intimidated, right? Like every other layer stack that I have on my more complex actions, you can close it all and it's there. You can leave it while you're working on it and then, do color work or other layers on top to master, brighten, darken, whatever. You can just leave it there, or you can flatten to a new layer once you're done. Don't be intimidated. You don't have to use all of these tools. Sometimes you may never use certain ones at all, but they're there just in case, and everything is set up, in my opinion, in a way that makes them ideal for skin toning. Now, what is skin toning anyway? Well, for me, it's, of course, the brightness and darkness of the skin. Do you need to lighten it? Do you need to darken it? Is it a stylistic choice? Is it a corrective choice? What about adding a little bit of color toning? What about decreasing the color toning, in terms of saturation? What about adding more highlight, more contrast, less contrast, shaping? This is all, to me, what comes together when it comes to the idea of skin tone. So this layer stack, huge, scary, etc. Why are some of them off? Why are some of them on? Let me walk you through it. So at the very bottom, we have a chroma layer. If you want to take a look at that, you'll see basically what that looks like with the mask in place. The good news is you don't have to mess with the chroma layer. You can just leave that there. That is the base of the layer stack to make all the math work, so we can have this HSL, HSB replacement function on top, which we'll explain in a minute. Speaking of, the very next layer is a hue and saturation layer. That is kind of like a very general mastering tool to, remember, layer stacks work from the bottom upward, right? So anything low in the layer stack is kind of like, I call it like an input. So this is effectively an input. If the whole image needs to be more yellow, you can make it more yellow. Obviously, you're just talking about the skin. So if everything is too red, you can adjust it. If everything's too yellow, you can adjust it. That's what that main sort of pre-mastering is there for. You can increase the saturation of it. You can decrease the saturation of it. Very simple. You actually can't increase the saturation due to the math, but that's another story for another time. Now, the next layer on top is by default off. It's called desat because that's a full desaturation layer. If I turn it on, you'll see what happens. It is another hue and saturation layer set to -100 saturation, allowing for obviously the skin to have a less saturation. We use that actively while we're mastering our skin in a minute. I'm going to show you that in a minute. For now, I'm going to turn it off. Now, this next three sections here, we have highlights, HSL or HSB replace, midtones, and shadows. What this allows us to do is dial in the exact color that we want. Okay. Now, I mentioned before that like on a panel, or in the previous panels we've had in the past, this HSB, HSL replace works really well, but we throttled it. Here, you have the flexibility of any color that you want. So for example, here are the midtones, set to 50% gray by default, right? Because that makes them completely invisible. But if you dial in a bright red, you get a bright red. Now, is that useful for you? No, but at least you have endless flexibility. So let's go back to something a little more practical, put it back on 50%. Without even messing with the hue or the saturation, you can go to brightness and simply brighten the skin tone or darken the skin tone in such a beautiful way that you're replacing the actual luminosity of the mid-range, which is calculated evenly throughout the layer stack. When the action is run, it calculates all of that. So it makes it all very even, okay? And therefore, it all blends together. So if I were to darken this a lot, you see what happens there? We still have our highlights, and the shadows are somewhat independent of that. If I brighten, obviously that's too much, but you get the idea. So it can simply be used to darken and lighten. But if you were to deepen it ever so slightly, right, like that, and then you go to saturation and go, let's add some color. Okay, but that's just red. We don't want red, so let's change the hue to more of an orange and take that saturation down. Let's hit OK for a second. Let's see what that looks like from there to there. We've added a depth to the skin right there alone. The midtones look like that, and that's what's being sort of applied over it. Okay, and that is the simplest of functions. Okay, we don't have to do that if we don't want to. Of course, we can just put that back to 50% and leave it alone. The highlights can be modified to anything. Again, bright red if you want. No need for that, but you can mute your highlights a little bit. And if you want to get rid of them completely, you can just sort of make them match the mid-range. See, now they're gone. Now there's no highlights. And then you can come up here to the highlights luminosity boost and turn that on. And you can create like fake highlights if you really wanted to. And then you can choose what range that may show up in, from wider to tighter, and somewhere in between. You may want to come back to your highlights and brighten them just a bit, maybe just a bit. And you still have this brightening effect of, and you have the shadows as well. See that? And that's also affected by blend diff, so you can make the shadows deeper if you want. You have an overall contrast function, which is simply a brightness and contrast adjustment layer that you can turn on and off for that mid-range contrast pop, or you can turn those off. You don't have to have them. Put your highlights back on 0, or rather, full bright white, and you're back to normal. So it's a way to master skin exactly how you want. So for example, if I put here and choose like something similar to a skin tone and darken a little bit, take that saturation down, you'll find that most of the changes you're going to do are subtle. Rather than try to track down the saturation of everything at once, that's where the desat function comes in. I turn that on, and maybe I'll start with like a 10% 10% opacity, because that allows me to use a keyboard command to arbitrarily change the saturation, right? So I can go 20%, 50%, 10%. Usually when you're deepening skin, and sometimes when you're brightening it, you'll get like a weird saturation boost that you didn't ask for. You could go back in and dial it in, but if you're doing all these things on top, including a gradient map color wash, which I'll show you in a minute, you may just want to take the input saturation down a bit, especially if you have a lot of, sort of discrepancy in tones. That could help make the overall toning, whether you're brightening or darkening, look better. Now, on the gradient map color wash, these come with the collection as well, the skin tone gradients. It's already set up to have a beautiful wash. So you have all these skin tones of varying times, and you can sort of dial it in. There you go. And of course, opacity is important. It starts at 30%, but there's 15%, right? What about if I put my highlights back on? Okay, that's fine, but I need wider highlights. So I'm going to expand the range. I'm not going to make it quite as strong, I think. And I'm going to change the opacity to like 50% from there to there. Very subtle toning. I kind of like where that's going. All right, here again on the bottom HSO input, maybe I can make it warmer. At any moment, I can make it darker. So let's go to brightness and darken. Ooh, that's a little too dark, something like that. Okay, and then the highlights, maybe a little stronger. From there to there. Is all that a little bit strong? Maybe it is. We'll brighten a little bit. Something like that. So we brought up a whole lot of like tan and skin tone in it. And like I said, we can just close this and then continue on. You might come on top and do a lookup table, like some of the new ones that I've created recently. And now you have a lookup table color grade on top that you're playing with as a very subtle one, off and on, but it looks kind of cool. And then while that's there, whether it's one layer or multiple for your color work, you can come down here and keep changing things and see, all right, what is actually working with that color grade? Don't forget the shadows can also be changed to anything. And I do mean anything, okay? So you can quickly dial in a cool tone, maybe like a purple tone, and you want to have some saturation in it, and you're going to brighten it ever so slightly. Look how subtle that difference is. Very, very subtle. And it went from this to this, and then we have a color lookup on top. And like I said, you can do any type of work on top of it. There's absolutely no limit. It's just a matter of what you want to do. So let's say I want to kind of neutralize the highlights a little bit. There we go. What about the blacks? I want to bring a little bit of blue into the shadows. Cool. No matter, I still have the skin control down here to do whatever I want. As I color grade, oh, the skin's getting too strong. That's why I have desaturation. 15%, maybe 20. Okay, I kind of like where that's going. See that? From there to there. I still have the shaping that I want. It's not just darkening or lightening, but it's shaping. I still have the shaping that I want. I think it looks pretty good. Make sure this is on pure white. It is not. There you go. I kind of like that. Take the highlights boost down just a bit. Probably a little bit strong. I don't mind that so much. Maybe take it down further. Okay, cool. From there to there. Do you see the kind of basic idea here? It can dial in the exact look that you want. And like I said, remember, it doesn't have to be darkening necessarily. For example, let's go to this image. This image is very, very strongly backlit, obviously. And because of that, there's a lot of shadow recovery, but there's also a lot of color. What if I wanted the skin to be less intense, less orange, a little bit lighter and brighter in such a way, but curves wasn't exactly working, levels was a little out of control. What do I do? Well, one thing I can do is run NBP SkinTM Pro. So let's let it do its whole process, including Photoshop's AI body part selection. All right, now that it's done, let's take a look at our mask real quick. Hold down Alt or Option and click the mask. Look at that, fantastic. Despite all the color discrepancies and everything else because of the backlit situation, the recovered shadows, Photoshop's AI did a phenomenal job. So let's say I go to my midtones and I simply brighten. Okay. Now you might think, well, look, I can brighten other ways. That's true. But once you start brightening with this HSB, HSL replacing, you're going to be like, oh, I get it now, right? Let's do a luminosity boost here. Let's increase the range just a bit. Something like that. And maybe just a little less intense, maybe 50%. Cool. All right. We're going to turn on our desat and put it like a 10 because I didn't want that to get too orange. Let's see what I did from this to that. Okay, maybe, you know, if that's a little strong, that's fine. I do agree it's a little strong. Probably can't tell in the video. Take it down a tick. Okay, and don't forget, you don't have to just brighten too. If you want to go to saturation and hue, let's find a hue that's somewhat similar. You can take saturation up a couple of ticks to bring a little bit of the color in there. Get the exact hue that you want. Something like that. Off and on. Close that, and then I can continue color grading. So for example, again, I'm going to go for lookup tables because I have all these new ones and I think they're cool, but at the same time, they're fast. So let's say I have a grade that's a little strong. Let's go to desert film. Something like that, not bad. Maybe I put like a 50%. But see, without the brightening of the skin, I might go, oh, that gray doesn't look good. But with the brightening of the skin, to kind of continue the idea of the shadow recovery, but in a smarter way that still preserves some good contrast and gives me total control, I kind of like that. That color grade, it looks okay here, but I kind of like it a little clearer, a little more neutral. So it's SkinTM Pro for a corrective purpose. Keep in mind too, like I said, you don't have to use all these layers just because they're there. Okay, they're there if you need them. For example, we didn't even touch overall shaping. That adds kind of a linear contrast to the skin overall. Really kind of cool as a good way to start if you have a very low contrast image. This is a very high contrast image, so it's not necessarily great for that, but it starts at 35% opacity and you can change from there. But as you can see, I used it for corrective to brighten on that image. And then on this one, I simply used it for some toning to create like a little more depth and shaping. Works really great on fitness photos or swimwear. If you have any type of shiny skin, that sort of specularity can really be enhanced. You can bring out depth, but keep in mind too that it's about your eye. So this gives you endless control, but you got to eyeball what it is that you want, whether you want a slightly deeper tone with more shaping like that, or you want a slightly brighter tone to bring back some of the lost detail inside the shadow recovered areas. That is why SkinTM Pro really, really excels. And with Photoshop's new object selection, people body part selection function, It's basically, you know, like I said, 97, 98% success rate. It's just a matter of using it. So don't be intimidated by the layer stack. I'll have more videos about it, of course. And please ask questions if you have them down below. It's not as complicated as it looks. And as a reminder too, if you decide that, hey, you know, this is perfect, I love it, well, you can just flatten it down. You can just take that layer stack from Skin Control Pro and just squash it with the background or wherever you were. There you go. Now it's permanent and you just continue on with your color. You can commit to it. You can leave it as layers by itself. You can stamp to a new layer. It's whatever you need to do. But big layer stack just means lots of control, especially when it's been set up appropriately. So try it out. It's not expensive. It's super powerful. And once you get your head around it, you're not going to want to tone skin any other way. This is what I use exclusively.